Guglielmo Marconi is often called the inventor of radio, but that is not really true. Others did indeed contribute to the development with their own inventions. However, Marconi was the first to transmit messages across significant distances using electromagnetic or wireless waves. Radio communication, broadcasting, television, radar and mobile phones are all built on the foundations laid by Marconi in the first decades of the 20th century. In spite of his many detractors, he persevered in pushing the limits of the technology further and further, and that push continues today. The Voyager spacecraft is now leaving the solar system and still transmitting data back to Earth. Marconi was also a global media celebrity, followed everywhere by the paparazzi who recorded his every move. However, much about him that made him who he was either never before generally known or has been forgotten. Here are some little-known facts about Marconi. 1. Marconi was half Italian and half Irish. His father was a landed gentleman from Bologna, where Marconi grew up, and his mother was a member of the Jameson's Irish whiskey family. Annie Jameson's family business connections in London were crucial to the launch of Marconi's global company in 1897, when he was only 23. 2. Marconi had no formal higher education. He did poorly in school as a child, and his parents hired teachers to tutor him in chemistry, maths and physics. His most important mentor was a high school physics teacher in Livorno by the name of Vincenzo Rossa. He was an avid, self-guided reader of popular scientific journals, where he learnt of the discovery of radio waves by the German physicist Heinrich Hertz. 3. Marconi was twice engaged to American feminists. Josephine B. Holman, a graduate of the Indianapolis Classical School for Girls, and Inez Mulholland, a Greenwich Village social activist who famously led a 1913 suffragist parade while riding a white horse. Marconi's two wives were more conventional women, but Marconi was forever becoming romantically involved with artists, film stars, opera singers, and journalists. 4. Marconi was the first inventor-entrepreneur to win a Nobel Prize for Physics in 1909. He shared the prize with the German physicist Ferdinand Braun. The Nobel Committee had never before awarded the prize for a practical application rather than theoretical accomplishments. In 1909, it considered giving the prize to the Wright brothers, but decided on Marconi because of public concern about the safety of aeroplanes. 5. No one would have survived the Titanic disaster had it not been equipped with Marconi transmitter. Thanks to wireless, the nearby Carpathia arrived at the scene in time to save 705 passengers and crew members. Marconi, who happened to be in New York at the time, was one of the first witnesses called by the US Senate inquiry into the disaster. He advocated that ships at sea be obliged to operate their wireless equipment round the clock, and this was endorsed by the committee. 6. Marconi was the first person to speak publicly about what we now call cell phones, tasers, and radar. He was forever being egged on by the press to make outlandish predictions, but he refused to forecast anything he was unable to demonstrate empirically. Spiritualists, such as the writer A. Conan Doyle, considered wireless communication a form of mental telepathy, but Marconi insisted it was rooted in the natural universe. 7. Marconi was an Italian delegate to the Paris Peace Conference after the First World War. He met privately with US President Woodrow Wilson in Paris, but was unable to convince Wilson to support Italian post-war claims to parts of the dismantled Austro-Hungarian Empire. The rejection of Italy's claims in Paris eventually led Marconi, and many others, to support Benito Mussolini's fascist movement, which aimed to restore Italian grandeur. 8. Marconi's company was involved in the founding of both NBC in the USA and the BBC. In England, the Marconi Company was the lead member of a consortium of electrical equipment manufacturers that formed the British Broadcasting Company. In the US, the Radio Corporation of America, parent of NBC, was created by the forced takeover of Marconi assets in 1919. 9. Marconi built the world's first international shortwave broadcast station, Vatican Radio, which went on the air in 1931, a year before the BBC World Service. A street in the Vatican Gardens is named after Marconi, a rare distinction for someone who had no direct connection to the church. 10. For nearly 20 years, Marconi's home was a 220-foot yacht that he christened the Elettra, or Spark. Marconi purchased the boat, which had been built for an Austrian prince, from the British government after the First World War. He equipped it with a wireless research lab and a staff of 35, and also named his youngest daughter Elettra. 11. When Marconi died, radio stations all over the world went silent in his honour. The Vatican Osservatore Romano reported that he had died a Christian death, but in fact Marconi declined to receive the last rites of the church.